I used to believe that college would be simple. Classes, coffee, ambition. When I arrived at Hawthorne University, dragging 2 suitcases across the red brick courtyard, I thought the real challenge would be keeping up with my economics major. I didn't know the real education would be in people. My name is Ethan. During my sophomore year, I shared most of my days with 2 people, Ryan and Emily. Ryan had been my roommate since freshman year. He was sharp, charming in a careless way, and somehow always 2 steps ahead of everyone else. Professors loved him, girls loved him. He had this talent for saying exactly what people wanted to hear, without seeming rehearsed. Emily sat 2 rows ahead of me in advanced macroeconomics. She took notes in tidy columns, asked precise questions, and never seemed flustered. I first spoke to her when we were assigned to the same research project, an analysis of market behavior during financial crises. She suggested we meet in the library that evening. I remember watching the late autumn sun fall across her hair as she outlined our strategy like a general preparing for war. That project became the center of my world. Ryan was in the same class. When he heard we were working together, he insisted we merge into a trio. 3 minds are better than 2, he'd said with a grin. I didn't argue. He had a reputation for pulling off brilliant presentations. The weeks that followed blurred into coffee-stained drafts and long nights in the study lounge. Emily handled the data modeling, I worked on the historical analysis, and Ryan polished the narrative and visuals. Or at least that's what I believed. One evening, I went back to our dorm unexpectedly because I'd forgotten my calculator. As I pushed open the door, I heard Ryan's voice. He was on the phone. He was describing our research model, Emily's model, as if it were entirely his own. He was pitching it to Professor Carter for a separate departmental grant. I stood there, my hand still on the door handle, feeling something cold settle in my chest. The next day, Ryan acted normal. He joked about the cafeteria food. He asked if I'd finished my section. I said nothing about what I'd heard. Instead, I told Emily privately. She went silent, in a way that made me realize how much she had trusted him too. That was the first crack. We decided not to confront him yet. Instead, we quietly began documenting everything. Timestamps on drafts, version histories, shared files. I thought we were protecting ourselves. But the situation grew stranger. A week before our presentation, Professor Carter announced that he had selected Ryan for a competitive research assistant position based on innovative independent work. Independent. I felt heat rising in my face while the class applauded. Ryan looked surprised, but only slightly. Emily stared straight ahead. That night, I confronted him. He didn't deny using our model. He simply reframed it. He said he had refined it, that ideas evolve, that in academia, credit is fluid. He insisted he had always planned to include us later. I realized then that Ryan didn't see betrayal the way I did. To him, ambition justified strategy. I expected Emily to be furious. Instead, she seemed composed. Almost too composed. She told me to focus on our presentation and let her handle the rest. The day of the presentation arrived. The lecture hall was packed. Our project had drawn attention. Ryan went first, delivering a confident overview. When it was Emily's turn to explain the core model, she paused. Then she projected a slide I had never seen before. On it were screenshots, emails, file histories, dated drafts, clearly showing the timeline of our work. She calmly explained the development process, emphasizing collaboration. Without directly accusing Ryan, she made the origins undeniable. A murmur rippled through the room. Ryan's smile faltered for the first time since I'd known him. After class, Professor Carter requested a meeting with all 3 of us. I assumed Ryan's assistant position would evaporate. I felt vindicated. Instead, something unexpected happened. Emily revealed that she had already met with the department chair days earlier. She had presented the evidence privately, not to destroy Ryan, but to protect the integrity of the project. The department had decided that the assistant role would become a shared appointment between all three of us, conditional on formal acknowledgement of collaboration. I was stunned. I had imagined revenge. She had engineered balance. Later, as we walked across campus, I finally asked her why she hadn't told me. She admitted she hadn't been entirely transparent either. When she first suspected Ryan, she had deliberately shared a slightly altered version of the model with him, just to see if he would claim it. The version he presented to Professor Carter contained that subtle flaw. She had set a test. Ryan had failed it. In that moment, I realized something else. Emily hadn't just been protecting herself. She had been measuring me, too. She had waited to see whether I would stay silent for convenience or speak up for fairness. My choice to tell her what I overheard had mattered. Ryan accepted the department's decision, though his confidence dimmed. Over time, we learned to work together again, but differently. Trust was no longer assumed, it was negotiated. As for Emily and me, long evenings in the research lab turned into something warmer. There was no dramatic confession, no grand gesture, just a steady understanding built on mutual respect. I admired the way she thought 3 steps ahead. Not for glory, but for principle. By the end of the semester, I understood that university wasn't just about theories of markets or polished presentations. It was about human incentives, hidden agendas, and the fragile currency of trust. Ambition can build a future, but without integrity, it erodes the foundation beneath it. Moral: intelligence may open doors, but character determines which ones remain open.